Hi, everyone. This lesson, we're going to talk about the 5-line staff and the treble and bass clefs. This is the most basic element of music notation, a set of horizontal lines called a staff. Plural is often staves. The most common type of staff has 5 lines, and it's basically music graph paper where we can write down notes in time. We read notes on a staff just as we read words on a page from left to right. Pitches are indicated with an oval called a note head. Note heads can only be placed in specific places on the staff, either centered on a staff line or in the spaces that occur directly above or below a staff line. As you can see, the first note on the left is between 2 lines, so we say this note is in or on a space. The second note has a line directly through its center, like cutting it in half, so we say this note is on a line. It's also important to note that spaces exist just above and below the top and bottom line of the staff, as you can see from the 3rd and 4th note heads here. Notice that those notes placed lower on the staff will be lower sounding, deeper pitches, while notes that are placed higher on the staff will be higher sounding pitches. Each time a note ascends on the staff from a line to the next space, or from a space to the next line, the note is assigned the next letter in the musical alphabet. But in order to assign specific pitches to the staff, we need something called a clef. The symbol you see placed on the left side of the staff above is called a clef. There are various types of clef, but the clef you see here is probably the most common, and it's referred to as the treble clef or the G clef. Does it look like a letter G to you? It turns out it is. The treble clef is a decorative letter G, and it sets the pitch G to the second line of the staff, here in red. Once one letter is identified on our staff by the clef, we can easily find any remaining notes above or below it by going forward in one letter in the music alphabet, each line or space up the staff. So starting at G, up one space would be A in the music alphabet. Then the next line is B, and so on. And going back one letter in the music alphabet for each line or space that we go down the staff. Starting at G, that means going down one space would be F, and then down to the next line is E, and so on. You probably won't be all that surprised to hear that the bass clef is also a stylized letter. The bass clef, or F clef, is a decorative letter F, even if the symbol seems a pretty far cry from the actual letter F. The bass clef sets the second line from the top of the staff, in red here, to the pitch F. This clef is generally used for lower sounding instruments, so you can hear the difference in the pitches between the 2 clefs. But besides being set in a deeper note range, the bass clef works just like treble clef. Once you have a reference note, in this case the F, provided by the clef, then you can find all the remaining notes. Going forward one letter in the musical alphabet for each line or space up the staff. If you start on F and move up to the next space, you get G, then A, and so on. And then going back one letter in the musical alphabet for each line or space down the staff. If you start at the F and move down one place, you get E and then D, and so on. All right, that concludes this lesson.